Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on? What's going on? How are you awesome people doing out there? Sorry for a little bit of delay. Was on the phone for a moment. Yo. Can't be rude to people on the phone. Be like, hey, I gotta get the live stream in here. So sorry for the wait, everybody. Sorry. Dakota Miner. Yo, he's sitting there sleeping, going, you're taking forever. God. I know, I'm sorry. What's going on, Budweiser? Yo, what's up, Ark? What's going on, everybody? What is up? I hope everybody's having a great, wonderful day. Let's kind of dive right on into things here as we're waiting for a few people to continue to mosey on in here. And as you guys are moseying on in, certainly smash that lizardy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. Yo. Bitcoin doing Bitcoin things. It is sitting at a 27,690. Yo, we are definitely just kind of doing what I was thinking we were going to do, which was trading sideways. It's boring, but at least Bitcoin is staying up for the most part. This is a good thing. I think that we're going to continue to see it kind of flatline out. We're going to have a consolidation here. It did print out another sell signal. I think we're just seeing a little more consolidation here at the levels that we're currently sitting at. And then I'm hoping to see a little bit of a rise going up after this. Not that it has to. It can break all the way back down to $1 for all we know. But the likelihood is we're going to see a little bit more further consolidation. I think we are probably going to see that consolidation hit about that 26.5 line. What I'm thinking about here, yo, what up, New England crypto? What's up, everybody here? So as it's sitting there trading out sideways, I think we're in a good position here. I didn't want to see it just pop and go to the moon. It never sustains like that. That is a surefire way that people are going to get involved in a hype train. And then when it crashes, you're going to see a lot of new people that came into the market that will no longer mess with this market anymore. They're going to think of it as nothing but a scam. And I'd rather sit there and see slow and healthy movements that will basically give the market some confidence. Plus, with all that's happening to the government and hyperinflation, de-dollarization, the petrodollar is losing its stance in the world economic arena. So these are all things that, for the most part, is going to be very positive for Bitcoin, and for day-to-day life, it's going to be a net negative for everybody in the economy here, unless you're on that Bitcoin standard and you're already off of fiat. If you're reliant on fiat and we go through the de-dollarization of the petrodollar, yeah, it's going to be epic. That's all we can say at this point. So before I get into, let's go ahead and get into some of the hardware stuff. What up, DJ, BTC, and gold? You know it, my dude. You got gold and silver. That's God's money. Then you got Bitcoin. That's the people's money. So take your choice. Get into it. Not financial advice, but I'd be like going, yeah, I probably wouldn't want to be holding on to dollars. I don't have very many. Myself, I have zero confidence in dollars right now. Zero confidence. What's up, Crypto Bedell? Dropping that F. Hey, yeah, that's right, dude. All right. But yeah, I mean, with Bitcoin trading out sideways, it's nice. We're priming. We are priming for a good market movement for this summer. So we're spot on here. We are absolutely spot on. And as everybody knows that the RTX 4070 is going to be coming out here, and because there's been so many rumors and leaks that have come out, Nvidia themselves just decided to let some stuff out. They're like, we're tired of seeing this. Just let it out. So I mean, they basically confirmed some performance on it. NVIDIA Reflex comes to Counter-Strike 2, up to a 35% latency reduction with Reflex on. They don't want to tell you that if you disable all the little goodie creature, the goodies that come with the 40 series, that you're really not going to get any real significant performances. So basically, they're taking the input in and upscaling the holy hell out of it to get the performance. And I have no idea who's knocking. I'm live streaming. And I don't think Kenny's here. Okay. What up, Wheeling Crypto? What up? What up? So, gaming wise, you know, it's going to be very, you know, you'll see your performance upticks from 3080s, 28, 3070s, 2070s, 1070s. You should see a generational gap on there. But if you turn off the ray tracing, all of that, all of those extra core features on there, it's really performance-wise, raw-wise, is not too much of a difference. As soon as you turn on all of the AI upscaling onto it, that's when you see the 40 series really shine. And that's why I don't think that it's going to be like this leap and bounds difference for mining-wise, because of the fact that you're not utilizing that AI to function inside of the GPU for rendering purposes. You're using the core performance straight up. So you're just going to see the generational difference between the actual VGA core with no upscaling versus the next generation. So you're in mining terms, you're not going to see giant leaps. You'll see differences. You'll see better power performances and stuff like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like that you don't see any performance and there's no reason to get into it as a miner. It's just that trying to give up some of the old, 3070s from last generation for the 4070. I don't think it's enough of a difference. Now, would I say buy a 3070 over a 4070 for mining? I would say whichever one comes into your budget better is the route to go. And that's all you can really say at that point for straight up GPU mining. So we're going to be seeing a little bit of an uptick on here. It's going to be pretty cool, but it's just going to be in the gaming performance side of it. Huh? Oh, okay. Just put it on the clock over here, and I'll remember. Okay, perfect. That's for doing your taxes. Yeah. Perfect. She'll be happy about that. Yep. So, all right, my dude. Yeah, if you wanted to come back by in like an hour or so, I don't know. That's up to you. Okay. Rock and roll, my dude. What up, automatic beats? Got those left-handed vapes in his house, I see. It's like I'm having a day. I was talked down about knowing on electronics by a businessman that doesn't have real people on PCs. They smashed the iMac and told the buyer that it was... Oh man. That sucks, bro. That sucks. Sorry to hear that. Hate to see people having a bad day. But we do have releases on AIB partners coming out with the 4070. And it's very interesting on what's coming out. Now, this is from Gigabyte. Now, I like using Gigabyte. They've got a little bit of a lackluster RMA department, but overall, I've had, in my personal experience, I've had not very many issues with running Gigabyte. A lot of my original GPUs were Gigabyte 1070 Ti. They were the G1 gaming GPUs. Never had any issues with them. Fans die out on them. They don't. It's like that's the only thing I've ever really had that happened to them is a fan will die. Big deal. But here we got what's interesting about the Gigabyte coming out with this is this. I don't know if you guys can see it on your screen, but the top two GPUs have an 8-pin. The bottom two GPUs have that have that 12 volt high power connector. So we got 2 with the high power connector, 2 with the standard 8-pin. So I'm going to take a little swipe out there. The ones with the 8-pin are going to be your lowest performing 4070. The one with the high power pins on those are going to be your basically your binned chips. So your better power chips, but they're not going to be quite TI, or this might be the difference between the TI and the non-TI. So 4070 non-TI gets the 8-pin, the TI gets the high power down there, but it looks like they're giving out 4 different flavors. So the company was planning for the non-TI launch of next week. As shown in the picture, the 2 cards will be shipped with an 8-pin power connector, and the 2 will get the new 16-pin power connector instead. This, of course, is a confirmation of a rumor that NVIDIA will offer 2 SKUs of the 4070. Board partners have a choice between premium SKU, which is supposedly set to offer a 225 watt TDP by default, and a standard model that's with a 200 watt. The latter is said to be offered at $599 MSRP and will be featured in the first reviews expected on the 12th. So the reviews will be on the latter. It's hard to say. I would be curious to see if they're going to debut it with the high volt connector on this, like Gamers Nexus, Linus Tech Tips. If one of those 2 are going to get the high power one, or are they going to get just the standard non-hop high power? Because if they show off with the high power and they're going to release just the 8-pin first, it's good marketing on Gigabyte, but a little disingenuous. So hopefully they don't go down that route. Oh man, that sucks, wheeling. Man, I hate it when people have all that issues. So, here we go. We're going to be looking at 2 flavors. We'll see what gets reviewed on the 12th. So, I'm thinking probably the 11th will be able to, one of the media media groups will be showing off what they got, and then on the 12th we should be seeing exactly what the performance is out of the box. And knowing that they might be on beta drivers, so kind of keep that in mind with what they got going on. I hate when they use beta drivers, but I've seen it before, so we'll see. We shall see with that. But I do like the idea that they have a non-high power version, but it's going to come at a cost of performance, of course, right? And then, not to sit there and talk about another one, we'll go with AMD a little bit here. ASRock launches the 7900 XTX Tai Chi White Edition. So if you guys like to make your white builds, I do like the Tai Chi looks of everything, but I do like it in the black, not the white, because the gold, the golden printing on here pops a little bit better, and it gives it kind of that steampunk feel. That's just me. I like that stuff. But this will be a very good performing card. My only issue, it's chunky. That's a 3-din card. It's like no small. You're not going to really be able to put it into too much of a small form factor. Server cases don't really accommodate a 3-din card very well. mining with them, again, even the riserless motherboards don't accommodate for thick cards like this too well. So now you're stuck with running these things on open air rigs, which now you need, you're going to need like two six card rigs or one single 12 card rig, knowing you're only going to be able to put 8 on there because you need to have airflow. So, I mean, it's cool and everything, but I do not like the idea of how thick this bad boy is, because that is monstrously thick. It like slaps you right in the face thick. It's like, oh, wow. So, yep, that be a good card to be able to get your hands on. We know that, AMD is going to be very power efficient, but the pricings on this stuff is not the greatest. Just like NVIDIA, great performance. Not so much on the power side, but good performance, but horrible on the pricing side. So, I mean, it's the only reason why I can't sit there and be like, oh, yes, this is a great deal. If you were looking for a deal right now, this would be where I'd be going at it for mining. I'm still not quite there. I don't like where the pricings are at, but my spending needs are going towards the company and not getting more equipment at this point. Unfortunately, I am not made of money here, and every dollar I've got to account for the company to make sure that it moves forward. But so, if you guys are looking for an AMD card, this and you like to do your all white builds, I know people that love their all white builds. They even do all white mining rig builds too. So it's like sometimes you have an OCD thing, or you just have this thing about you just want a clean build. You get custom white cables, and yeah, you can lose your mind. I know people out there like that. Are you one of them? Don't know. But I know I'm not. I'm the type of person, I'll be like, man, that thing's going to be dustier than all get out, looking gray in a week. I got cats, that'll be fur covered. Nope. Yeah, I'm like, nope. Give me something black, it hides the dirt. All right, so it's like a lot of people has been talking about Kaspa, right? A lot of people, the big buzz on Kaspa. Oh yeah, Tech Sinji, he'd be one of them, Golden Wolf, that would want to do that really clean all white build. I can see him doing something like that. I mean, let's just be real. Tech Sinji has an attention to detail, and he makes some very beautiful rigs. Just saying. I don't know if I need to pay for something that fancy, but they do look nice. If you wanted to have a showpiece, Tech Sinji's your man. You want something that works, has the basics of what you need, and stays cool? I got you. But a lot of people have been talking about Kaspa and how profitable it is. And I do know that there are already FPGAs already mining Kaspa and all of this good stuff. But people have been coming out and talking about a ASIC that you can't really get a whole lot of information on. So I started doing a little digging on this. You know where this is going. I did a little digging in on something, which means that I have some information here. This might be pretty telling of what's actually under the hood of this super scale K10 K heavy hash supposed ASIC miner. That's what everybody's going on, right? This is an ASIC miner. This brand new ASIC miner is going to make Kaspa no longer profitable to mine on GPUs. We're going to have ASICs out. This thing is just going to be a monster. Hold up here. I wouldn't go down that route quite yet. And here's one of the first things. And I'm not sitting here saying that this is my go-to area. If it doesn't have it here, that means it doesn't exist. No. I look at different areas and I'm looking for data, right? I'm data driven. So I want to find this supposed ASIC. So I go on to asicminervalue.com. And if there's a new ASIC that's coming out here, it'll be here. You know, here's Forest Miner EPU XC. It's like, what's this? This just I mean, I just refreshed it. It was all Litecoin miners and stuff like that. So what's this Forest Miner, right? Nope, that's not this it's not this ASIC. That's not the same thing. Here we have a K10 heavy hash, super scalers, the manufacturer. It's got 30 gigahash at 1700 watts. Which means that this isn't the most efficient thing out there. If you start pitting it in certain areas, right? You know, you start looking at like the E300, 14 gigahash, right? We have 14 gigahash, and what's the wattage on this bad boy here? About 500 watts. 500 watts on the high side on Kaspa. Right? 500 watts. I'm getting 14 gigahash at 500 watts. I'm almost half the gigahash at 500 watts. As you can see, this K10 heavy hash supposed ASIC is not very efficient, right? So obviously the Osprey is already more efficient. Two of these bad boys is more efficient than one of these by about let's call it 700 watts, right? It's 700 watts more efficient. ASICs aren't that bad. And it's not like this Osprey is new hardware either. This is not new hardware that's in here by any means. This is a VU35P. This is an FPGA. It's got 3 FPGA boards in here. So 3 older FPGA boards are more efficient than this thing. This is not an ASIC. Just because it's in an ASIC body, at that point, you can call this an ASIC then, even though it's FPGA hash boards. This is not an ASIC. This is an FPGA at the end of the day. So with it being an FPGA in here under the hood on this bad boy, right? It makes me really think that this is also an FPGA under the hood. I do not think that this is an ASIC. The efficiency, I would expect the efficiency if it was doing 30 gigahash, I would expect it to be around 800 watts at 30 gigahash or less. I would say probably right around the 800 watt mark for 30 gigahash. Typically, ASICs are power efficient because of their density on the chip side. The other thing is I haven't, through all of the ASIC communities that I deal with, because you guys know I like ASICs, I don't hear any buzzing around about ASICs, guys. Oh yeah, Vincent, exactly. What up, D Mining? Yo, what up? So I don't see this K10 being an ASIC in any way, shape, or form. I think that anybody that's going to grab these things are going to be very unhappy with what they're getting their hands on. Very unhappy. This thing basically at 11 cents per kilowatt hour USD, you're going to be spending about $5.50 a day in power, and you're basically going to be profiting right around $20 for this thing. And yeah, you're profiting over the power, but it's not efficient at all. So I'm not sure exactly what FPGA they're borrowing this from. FA, what up, Crypto Mikhail? What up, what up? LOL, they have no idea what they're getting into. FPGA equal ASIC. Yeah, exactly. They think this thing is an ASIC. None of the ASIC manufacturer people, none of the people that do any of the research and development on this stuff, they don't. There was like a rumor, I guess, of a potential ASIC coming out for Kaspa, but nobody has been able to confirm outside of that. So outside of, because there's no confirmation on it, nothing directly stating it, it's like, I don't think that we're looking at ASICs. Not from the ASIC community are we hearing any buzz on this. I think this is an FPGA. So let's keep digging a little bit down the rabbit hole on this, right? So let me back up over here. Back up over here. So if you go on the hashrate.no, you can go into the FPGA section on here. Again, we don't see any new FPGAs on there, but that's normal. I don't expect to see a new FPGA come right online with all of this, right? So if you're going down, going, hey, look, this is a 30 gigahash, 1700 watts. Come over here and you're like, let's take a look at this. We got a Xilinx Varium C1100. You come into there, you go on the Kaspa, you're into here, and you can see the hash rate on here. So we're looking at, on the high side, 4.2 gigahash. Right? So you're looking at like about what? 7... yeah, about 7 of these chips, give or take, coming in to do that, right? But the thing is that you're looking at 110 watts. So if it was 7, you'd be looking at 800 watts for it if it was an ASIC. Again, it goes back to what I was saying. I would be looking at this thing to be able to pull about 800 watts if I was going to be looking at this thing being an ASIC. No more than 800 watts is where this bad boy should be. If not, it should be sitting at a terahash for that 1700. That would be the efficiency ratio that I would be expecting out of an ASIC here. Here we have an FPGA that is slaughtering it. That's a new FPGA, right? And if you sit there and you look at it from the GPU side of it, again, we're getting half the hash rate from a GPU versus an FPGA on the same algorithm. Half the hash rate. This thing's an FPGA. It's just not a new one. It is a very, very old one. And then I start looking at the older FPGAs and stuff like that, right? And the first thing that comes to mind is the BCU 1525, and of course the other counterpart to that is the CVP 13. This thing matches better up hash rate wise to a CVP 13. But the wattage consumption still isn't what it needs to be. Haters, they don't even have the BCU. For sure. It's like I never got my 1525s. Oh man, been upset about it. Fell through way back when they were dirt cheap. Ouch. That sucks, bro. Yep, the facility has 2 left. We currently have 2 left. The 2 that I had bit the dust. The other 2, they're still working. It's awesome. They were expensive even back then. I think like $700-800 like no, $900 I think it was, like $900 for them. But the CVP 13, we're going to be looking at hash rate that can add up to this. Now, from an FPGA standpoint, One of the things that I noticed is that when you're looking up the product for the product itself, a lot of times the FPGAs will reference the chip style that it's coming from. And the K10 is my clue on this, right? So I'm just taking it from just logic, looking at hardware, knowing enough to be dangerous, right? So, I mean, don't take what I'm saying here as gospel. I bloody well could be absolutely wrong on this, but it would make sense, right? So, K10. Here we have the MK10 DN64VLF5557 Kentis K10 microcontroller core. Ladies and gentlemen, this might be the family of FPGAs that this ASIC comes from. I do not think these are the exact chips. There might have been, these might be the exact chips, or there might be an older variation that has been out for a lot longer that they're using. Because these ones came out last year. I would expect something that's come out in the last year to be a lot more efficient than what we're looking at. So I think we're in the same family. Well, the Kentis K10 FPGA, but I think that we're looking at an older variation of these. So it might be in the same family as this particular chip, but not the same one. So we're not going to see the same performance on that stuff. It's like, are there any new powerful or efficient FPGAs that are streams or devs building for the old tech? I would say check out the Osprey E300s. Those are basically repurposed BCU 1525s, and that's that you get three chips. E300 for the win, as Crypto Mikkel says. Yo. Negative? What, you only get 2? I thought you get 3. Oh, BCU 1525s. Yeah. I thought that's what I said. Didn't I say BCU 1525s? I thought I did. But whatever. But yeah, so you'll be looking at 3 chips for those. I mean, the Osprey E300 would be the best bet for you. They've got the support. Oh, okay. Same family, just a different. Okay, so it's the VU35P. Oh, okay. Now you make sense. Okay, so it's the VU35P, which is what the BCU 1520. If correct me if I'm wrong, Crypto Mikkel. He knows the FPGA world a whole lot better than me. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. The VU35P is what the BCU 1525 and the CVP13 was built off of. Did I remember that correctly, Mikkel? Because I remember that the VU9P. Okay. I get those confused, man. FPGAs have weird names. Mikkel keeps that freaking stuff locked up in there, and he's good about it. That's the hardware that gets him going, because it's a lot of programming, and he loves programming. So awesome. Thank you, Mikkel. I was trying to get him to come on. I tried asking him to come on in Discord, but Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that's why why do I always get those two backwards? So the Jungle Cat 35 is the VU 35P. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I constantly put them backwards because they all came out really kind of close to each other. Like I learned about it all at the same time, so there was like a lot of knowledge that went in all at once, and yeah. The CVP 13 is the VU 13P. Okay. So that's how it goes. Okay, that's okay. So the VU 35P is the E300. The BCU is the VU9P, Jungle Cat VU35, so it's basically a redone Jungle Cat. And then the Forest Kitten was the VU33P. Okay. Yeah, there was Mikkel stuck with like going down the rabbit hole because of the all the programming stuff behind it, and the programming stuff is a little above I like the hardware. The hardware is cooler than all get out. It's just manipulating that said hardware. It's like my brain does not like that. But the hardware industry for the FPGAs is pretty killer. But going down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out what's in this, what's inside of this K10 heavy hash, I really think it is a Kentis K10 microcontroller or FPGA. So that's my suspicion of what's in here, and it's going to be an older variation of it so that the chipsets were nice and cheap, all that good stuff. And because if you were to try to build this thing with the equivalent of an, let's say the, which one was it? Let me back up here. If you were going to be using the Xilinx C1100 in here and try to build an FPGA, another FPGA rig out of this, like Osprey did with the E300, we'd be looking at like a $17,000 FPGA. And if you're looking at it from that point, and the efficiency would be a whole hell of a lot better, way better. We'd be looking at 800 watts, but we'd be the transmission rate of Kaspa is going to be going down significantly. So by next year, 76% of all the Kaspa will have been mined. By 2025, 87% of all the Kaspa will be mined. 2026, 95% of all the Kaspa will have been mined. It's like, so unless the network really takes off, I don't see anyone wanting to invest $17,000 in an FPGA. Now, if it's an older FPGA technology, like what I'm suspecting it is, because of the inefficiencies on it, we'll probably be looking at like a $2,000 to $3,000 FPGA. But yeah, very aggressive emission curve, exactly. And it's like, unless the net, I don't see anybody wanting to build infrastructure for a coin that hasn't even gotten traction outside of mining it. I mean, that's all this is at this point, is a mineable coin. If there's enough movement in there like Ethereum has, then sure, we'll see, a pretty decent uptick of mining. With mining interest in Kaspa, but until it happens, we're not going to see we're not going to see ASICs in this. Nobody's going to want to invest the money into that with something that has an aggressive emissions curve on it, with no use. Nobody's using it outside of the small community that's mining it and holding on to it. And I hate to put it out like that on the, it's like, is Kaspa, is the Kaspa devs bad? No. Is Kaspa itself a horrible project? I don't know enough about it, so I'm not going to sit there and talk bad about a project I really don't know a whole lot about. I just know it's an altcoin, and I mine it, and I would be willing to mine it to transfer into Bitcoin. That's just my viewpoint on it. Now, just because I don't hold on to something doesn't mean that what you should be doing and what you want to do. It's like I don't really care what you guys want to do when it comes down to holding on to Kaspa or wanting to support Kaspa, right? I'm just letting you guys know that I don't think it's an ASIC, guys. I don't think if you're a GPU mining, you are already competing with the Osprey E300s. So if you're okay mining with a bunch of FPGAs that are already there, then what does it matter? If you're profitable while you're mining on there, do you care? I mean, realistically, at the end of the day, if you're profitable or you're getting the amount of coin that you want to get, does it matter if there's another FPGA on there? No, because this one's even less, more. Your GPUs are more efficient than this FPGA is. In fact, all the new GPU favorites have a huge aggro emission schedule, as they are all built on having lifting ships soon. It's not smart. 100% Gallo. I will 100% agree with you on that one. All these GPU mineable coins. That's why I don't hold on to them. I mine, and I either mine it right into Litecoin and hold into Bitcoin, or I mine it into Litecoin so that I can spend a Litecoin because it moves easy and it's cheap. I use Bitcoin for my savings account, and I use Litecoin for my checking. Yeah, Kaspa is an insane at 600 million market cap. I know. Crazy. But once the emissions curve starts, really hitting in really hard, and you're going to see people just kind of losing interest unless Kaspa takes off, and it's more than just a mineable coin. I don't see anything long term happening with Kaspa, unfortunately. So guys, don't worry about this. This is not an ASIC, guys, in any way, shape, or form. When you look at it at first glance, you're like, oh my god. It's kind of scary, especially when you sit there and you look at 30 gigahash. But then look at the existing hardware, guys. Add it up, guys. If you can add this up, you realize that your GPUs and the existing FPGAs are already better than this. This is not an ASIC. To me, realistically, if I wanted to see something that was an ASIC in this, I would expect 30 gigahash to be probably 30 gigahash. I would say 500 watts if it was like Bitmain. But Bitmain wouldn't do something that small. That wouldn't be worth their time. So they would sit there and be like, well, let's just make it 1700 watts, and now we've got 1.5 terahash. That's the efficiency that I would be looking for on this, guys. Not anything less. Not anything less. And you think Bitmain's, unless there is like huge money involved with this, right? I don't see Bitmain trying to pump out an ASIC on this, let alone putting into research. The TSMC chip fabs are backed up from all hell and back again. Good luck trying to get even a small batch to go through TSMC. All the chip fabs are all behind schedule. Every one of them. So there's no way a new ASIC manufacturer is coming out and putting out a new ASIC, especially without the ASIC community even knowing word one about this. So this is definitely older hardware. It's the only way that they're going to get this to come out. And I'd be really interested to see where they're going to put the price tag on this. I mean, it is making money. It's making $20 a day after electric costs. Is it not profitable to get this? It just depends on what the price tag is on this thing at the end of the day. Hey, what's up, Philip? Like, you don't think the chip fabs are still overloaded? I I hear information both ways. So what's up? What's up? Made one for Cadena and CKB. I know. I think right now we're just seeing a lot of FPGAs come working its way out. So I think in the long term we're going to be if the prices start holding this way, where we're at the $20 floor right now that with 30 gigahash, if we go into a mega bull run and that goes to $60 a day, then I could see Bitmain being interested in trying to make an ASIC for this. Just it would be insane turnaround period to get chips on the market already. It would mean that they started like 6 months ago at least. Exactly, Philip. I'll agree with that one 100%. And Patrick, yeah, Kaspa is too new to invest by third parties right now. They need to get some market traction, prove themselves in the market for sustainability, prove usability within their own personal market that gives it more value outside of mining. Exactly, Vincent. Exactly. That's the whole thing. That's why you know damn well this is an FPGA with an existing chips that have already been out. They purchased old chips. They could be brand new chips. I don't care about that, but it's just old inventory. It's outdated FPGAs. What's profitable on Kaspa on some normal GPUs? Profits on Kaspa on a normal GPU. Let's go right into that real fast here. And you would be looking at 2.4 gigahash. You'd be making 34 cents a day at 11 cents per kilowatt hour. And that's running a 4090. Let's see here. That's the 4090. So that's like the big bad dog out there. Let's see here. Let's see here. We have my 3080 Ti. 3080 Ti here. Kaspa. 21 cents a day. I mean, the profitability on a normal GPU isn't huge. And then when you go into like the FPGA side of this, you go with the Xilinx Varium C1100, and you'll be making $3.31 a day. That's where you're sitting at. It's $3.31 a day. Yeah, old chips cranked to the max. Yeah. I caught part of that, Todd. I caught part of that. It's like everybody just thinks that a lot of people think that this is an ASIC. This isn't not an ASIC. This is an FPGA. This is repurposed FPGA chips. That's all this is. Nobody is making any ASICs for Kaspa right now. I heard rumors on it, and that was it. Nothing confirmed. Usually I can confirm it through a few different venues. At least one of them be like, no, we know a small batch has been made. And usually you'll see a small test batch be made. Maybe 100 of them, right? That's usually your typical test batch for an ASIC, to building an ASIC. You'll do proof of concept, at least 100 ASICs. It's got to be worth. I forget. I don't know where TSMC or the other chip fabs might have their minimum chip purchase amount, but for all intensive purposes, let's say they've got to make 100 ASICs for this. nobody's confirmed that that's even been done. So I think that, in all argument's sake, I think this is an old FPGA that is very inefficient. This is probably one of the most inefficient FPGAs out there. Period. Considering what it is, 1,700 watts for the amount of hash rate, something like this can blow it away very easily. So, I mean, I hope that, it's like people understand that there's no way that there's an ASIC for it. It just looks like an ASIC, that's it. And you can see that it's on F2 pool, which this is an ASIC mining pool for the most part. Not purely, but for the most part. And you see them, showing this off. It looks like an ASIC in every way, shape, or form. Looks like a Bitmain ASIC box. But, so does this. This looks like the Bitmain's S9, but a lot shorter. You don't even realize how short this thing is until you got it in your hand. So, yeah, I think that I don't think anybody has anything to worry about in Kaspa. It's not going to get dominated by a new ASIC or a new FPGA. Depending on the pricing on this, if the pricing's too high, you won't even see that many of these get deployed out. It'll be a very small little batch run of them, and that'll be about as far as it goes, guys. So that's just my opinion on this. 100%, Vincent. It is a good place to store a lot of hardware, very neat and organized in one spot, and be able to direct air across it. That's why I like to mine with GPUs and server cases. Same reason. It's a good place to organize everything, and you can control the airflow. That's what it's all about. My stuff's overheating, more airflow. That's what it is at the end of the day. I mean, unless you're pumping too much power through it, but then that's a different conversation, right? So does anybody have any other comments or questions before I head up out of here? Kaspa is awesome. If anyone starts Kaspa ASICs, it might start an arms race off. But as always, the first ASIC to come out is painful to the community. Let's hope it takes a while. I'll agree with that one. Because, it depends on, you just don't want a random... Bitmain has learned their lesson with releasing too many ASICs at once. They realize that they need to do a slow emissions rate on ASICs coming out. Why? Because they don't want to watch the hash rate, the difficulty jack up onto something, and the price point at which they're trying to sell these ASICs are no longer viable. So they'll do a slower emission, smaller batches. This way, it hits the market differently. But if you had, because Bitmain learned their lesson with Dash. When they came out with the very first Dash miner, they absolutely flooded the market and killed Dash in the long run. There was so many ASICs that had came out on Dash. There were so many people mining Dash and selling it off for Bitcoin so that they could sit there and pay for loans, pay for building, pay for electric. It put a massive sell pressure on Dash because of it. So Bitmain learned their lesson about releasing too many ASICs at once. Some of these smaller companies, not so bad at what they're doing because they're not pumping out these hugely powerful machines. So you either want to see your first couple of generations of a new ASIC coming out onto a coin to being efficient, but not high hash rate. If it kicks off the way that Kadena miner coming out from Bitmain, the KA3? We're 160 gigahash or whatever that is. That's gonna dominate Kadena. It's good luck everybody else. They just made your stuff obsolete. You're gonna be able to mine until those machines are now dominating the network, and then your stuff's not worth putting on there because the emissions rate to you is not enough to offset the power rate that you're paying. Unless you got free power, then to each their own. So I agree with you, Philip, on that one. I hope it doesn't take. It either takes a while for it to build up to that, or they start letting loose really low power ASICs. Did you talk about the death that is about to come to the folks on stake? Stepping out on a limb here, calling a lot of pain for ETH. I have absolutely I have absolutely called that out, Vincent. 100%, Vincent. I have called that out. Because it is illegal to be staking in the United States. They have to be able to allow all the people to unstake their ETH now. They are not allowed to be, unless you're an accredited investor, you can't touch ETH staking. That's why they're pushing the unstaking features so soon. They weren't planning on doing to unlocking the staking in the next couple of updates for Ethereum. And now they're doing it because the SEC just ruled it a security. And they're giving them everybody leeway, so that Ethereum can figure out how to unstake. Oh yeah, Vincent, major downside coming. Now, those same ETH people, now if they feel like fools right now and watch their $5,000 Ethereum go down to under $2,000, they're going to be really pissed off. I would be too. That I lock up my ETH just to watch half the value eviscerate right in front of you. So yeah, there'll be some interesting stuff coming in the future for Ethereum. Yeah, they're either going to be, well, how can I put it? They're either going to be pissed off and sell. They're going to be in denial and keep holding, or they're going to be pissed off and Bitcoin only, and they're going to be Bitcoin maximalists moving forward, and they're going to be like, everything else is a scam. I think that's really, they're either going to be pissed off and sell, and they're done with crypto, it's all a scam. They're going to lie to themselves and buy more Ethereum because they think that the price can only go up, or they're going to be pissed off and be Bitcoin maximalists. I hope for the last one, they get pissed off and become Bitcoin maximalists, and they understand the value of what hard money really is versus going to what I like to deem the casino gulag. 100% Kyle Rosa. Invest heavy into altcoins, have fun staying poor. It's like for every one person that I've seen turn him into a millionaire, I have seen 500 of them lose everything. So, yeah. That is a very, very, very big possibility. Very likely that BTC ETH cross pair skyrockets. Very well could. I mean, Ethereum's price to Bitcoin has never recovered from its all-time high. Just saying. It is something that Gary Gensler was sitting there and stating that he is looking at staking under. It was part of what Congress had put in whenever they passed their last big spending bill. It was part of that, and it was why they were trying to make sure that it would not affect Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, because they were trying to make it to where you had to be a bank, basically. So I had to know where the transaction came from and where it was going, and be able to tell who was receiving and who was sending, all the Bank Charter Act crap. So they had to put in a clause into there that allowed Bitcoin to sit on the outside of that, and is not being regulated quite like that. But in there, if you look at how the rulings, the way that it was written out, it shows that that the Howey test can now be applied to staking. And because staking does not pass the Howey test, it is not an investable vehicle that the people can get into. There is, oh God, I forget how the Howey test gets applied here, but it was something that Gary Gensler did go over. So yeah, buy 32 Ethereum and expect returns. Exactly. You have an expected rate of return on your investment. And people have an assumed value on that expected state of return than it is a security. Yep, RIP proof of stake. It's in the United States. Outside of the country, different venue. Totally different venue outside the United States. It's only in the United States. And it's like without trying to dig through our videos and stuff like that, but it was stated by Gary Gensler. So, and that's why now there's all these crypto lawyers that are now trying to cite that Gary Gensler is now coming after crypto too hot and heavy. Because he is now sitting there after FTX debacle, he is now putting the Howey test on everything. And he's basically stating that everything is a security except for Bitcoin. His words. And he's like, if you want to be able to offer your coin here in the United States, you need to talk to the SEC and pass the SEC Howey test. If you can pass the Howey test, you're good to go. Everything else, you need to be an accredited investor. It's not saying that the investments are being shut down from the United States. They're not stating that either. It just means that it's for the rich only. People with money to potentially lose. People who understand that getting involved with certain things is a high risk, high reward potential. Where the average consumer, they're just going, hey, I put my life savings into here and I'm gonna earn money. And unfortunately, those people, because of the lack of education, they need a little protecting, from somebody. 100%, Kyle Rosa. SEC will have to prove case by case, and it's gonna get ugly. That's why the XRP people are like crying over this, going, "We're gonna beat them. We got them." They're smoking on that hopium. XRP is a security, especially when, what's the guy's, Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO, owns 65% of all the tokens. That's a security risk in itself. Of course, that's why they call retail stupid. Retail investors it's not that they're stupid, in my opinion. Retail is the most uneducated people. They are people that are just going, I was told to invest here, so I need to buy something. And that something over here is cheap. That something over there is expensive. Give me the cheap stuff, fill it up. And that's the mentality of a lot of these investors that are in retail investors that are getting into this, is that they're just being told, hey, this is awesome. This is expensive though. You don't have enough to buy this. But then you turn your head and look over here and you're like, I don't know who's talking about that. And then you have somebody else that talks about it. Oh my God, I'm making money with this. Oh, it's going up. And then they start getting involved with that, and yeah. Then next thing they know, that it's year one. That company's been around for a year and a half, and it went belly up. Welcome to penny stocks. Would you not agree to get a small bag of altcoins? My viewpoint is this: I'm a Bitcoin maximalist to a big extent. So if an altcoin can prove themselves. For one, it's got to be mineable only. It's got to be proof of work. No pre-sale, no pre-mine. Has to have a core wallet. Has to have a community to use it. That's a lot of them. A lot of altcoins have that. Small community that'll use them. I want to see usability outside of their community. What are they solving in the real world? Why do I want their product? You know, it sounds stupid, right? But why would I want their product? What makes their product worth me having? Why should I hold it? You know, Ethereum. You can build on it. You have to hold on to Ethereum in order to build upon Ethereum. So if you want to launch a protocol off of it, you have to have Ethereum to fulfill the contract. There's an internal use case for it, but it's, you know, outside of that use case, not very big. But the thing that Ethereum had that nobody else had was that they had all the GPU miners there. There was so many GPU miners utilizing the protocol and giving it its popularity, giving it huge use case. I mean, you got people like BBT Carter, who he championed for Ethereum. Championed for it. He was a big spokesperson for it. Ethereum started very much grassroots from the mining community. And it built into what it is today. And unfortunately, that same protocol turned its back on the same community that was supporting it. You know, it's like, so I mean, I've been around enough altcoins to have been burned enough times to not really trust them. So from my perspective, will I play with an altcoin? Sure. Will I check out an altcoin ecosystem? Sure. Will I hold on to their coin long-term investment? No. If I'm going to sit there and have something, it's going to be Litecoin or Bitcoin. If a huge company owns over 50% of their stock, huge, big, red flag. Yes. And MOAC. Yes, 100%. Retail reacts to FOMO and emotions and greed. 100%. They're like, retail investors are like a whole bunch of Karens. Yes, ETH is going to learn about karma. That is true. Very true. They're definitely going to sit there and learn karma. It's going to bite them in the butt in the long term. And when they turn on the unstaking, we shall watch the floodgate. But remember, Ethereum, you know, they try to claim that that non-centralized entity. When all the Ethereum starts to become unstaked, we'll see how quickly they shut down staking. The people from being able to unstake. They did make a mention of that before they went to proof of stake, that when they would allow unstaking, you wouldn't be allowed to unstake at first more than 10%. Let's see how much they're going to allow you to unstake. That one's going to be to me, that's the interesting one. How much will they let you unstake? Jeopardizes securities. Yep. They're gonna be learning that the security needs to be of the utmost importance, and paying for security is worth almost any price. Man, this is crazy times to live. Oh, yeah, Fudweiser. Crazy times. We got governments imploding, banks imploding. Crypto should go through the roof. I hope so. I hope. And with that being said, does anybody have any other comments or questions before I head up out of here, fellas? And thank you, everybody, for being here. Certainly smash that Lizzie like button. Subscribe. If you're new here, please subscribe. And hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. If you are mining and you would like to take advantage of a hosting facility like mine and Mikkel's, check out the Patreon links down below. It'll get you VIP access to ensure that you have space on our limited shelves, guys. We don't have an unlimited amount of room, and we're only going to be getting ourselves about, give or take, we're going to be getting ourselves 500 kVA, which is a half a megawatt. Yo, what up, chump change? This has been the best non-financial financial advice I've ever received. Thank you, chump change. You rock, you rock. Tell Pocket I say what's up, chump. What up, Ark? Yep, everybody. Definitely been lurking. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, chump change. Thank you, thank you. So everybody, certainly smash that Lizzie like button. Drop those FAs in the chat because you guys are rated F for freaking awesome. Yeah. And with that being said, it's like made me think about my ETH. Awesome. Will do, will do. You going live later on, Chump? FYI, Shanghai, April 12th. FAAF. Nice, nice. All right, everybody. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. Check out the links down below. Patreon, get into the pseudo hasher tier so that you can get your VIP access to the family mine. If not, certainly join the Discord. Links down below. It's like not tonight, tomorrow AM. Awesome, awesome. So check out Chump Change tomorrow, guys, in the morning. He likes to do those early shows. And then I'll be on after him, working out in the morning as I usually do. So thank you, everybody, for being here. You all rock. With that being said, peace out. Stay savage. And may your watts be low and your hash be high. I'll see you on the next one.